I've been waiting for
Hey guys, it's Ruby, back again with another Vegas video. Today I want to talk about resort fees. I saw a lot of comments in all of my videos talking about how I just hate these resort fees in Vegas. I want to talk about what they are, why they do them, some comparisons, and also my opinion on what I think about these resort fees. Let me make a huge disclaimer and say that I don't work for any of the hotels. I am not affiliated with any of these properties or with any of these booking websites or anything like that. I have no stake in the game. This is just a fun video that I want to get out to you guys to give you some information. If you guys like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe. I am really close to 5,000 subscribers. That is so great. Thank you so much to all of you who are subscribed. Let's get into the information. Okay, let's talk about resort fees. What is a resort fee? If you've never heard of a resort fee before, what this is that the hotel will charge you the room rate. Right when you go to click on it, it will say room rate. But on top of that, it'll say plus taxes and fees, and it'll say plus X resort fee. The resort fee can also be called like a hotel fee, an amenities fee. They call them all kinds of different things. The hotels say that what these are paying for the amenities like coffee in your room, or sometimes for the pool, free Wi-Fi, printing boarding passes. They claim that it's for all these different amenities. However, most of the time if you say, well, I don't want any of that, you still have to pay for the resort fee. And that's why a lot of people get really caught up and a little bit annoyed with these resort fees, is that they aren't optional, even though it seems like you could claim that these things are optional. So all of the Vegas hotels on the Strip, almost every single one of them does have a resort fee. They started in the 1990s after the big family boom in Vegas. If you're not familiar, in the late 90s, they started targeting families to come to Las Vegas, and the whole demographic of Vegas changed. Once that happened, they started seeing these resort fees pop up. However, they are common in a lot of US travel destinations. About 7% of all hotels in the United States actually have them. They're also common in the Caribbean and in Mexico. So it's not just Las Vegas, even though Las Vegas is notorious for having these resort fees. They are actually illegal in Europe and in Australia. However, they are not illegal in the US if they are disclosed. That is a common misconception. They're not actually illegal as long as they are pointing out that they have a resort fee. If they're hiding it, that's when it's illegal. The average resort fee in Las Vegas, when I looked it up, is $29.91. However, most places I know tend to commonly charge $35 to $45 for the more high-end properties. So it can be quite a bit. So why do the hotels do them? Why are they there? If you ask the hotels directly, they are going to say it's so you didn't have to pay for things a la carte. We didn't want to nickel and dime you. They kind of dance around the question. I don't know that they really want to give you the honest answer. And the honest answer is really this. They get more revenue without increasing their room rate. The hotel is more likely to be shown in a search engine if it's got a cheaper room rate. So if you go to Google room prices, they are going to pop up cheaper, even though they have these little sneaky resort fees. It keeps commission costs lower because third-party booking sites will take a percentage of the commission for booking the rooms, but they can't on the additional fees. Although some of the booking sites have started to notice this, and now they're trying to take from the resort fees. So some of these booking sites are kind of catching on to this. I have seen people say that this is so they can dodge taxes. Now, in Las Vegas, the tax rate for the resort fee is still the same as for the regular room rate. So in Nevada, they're not actually like getting anything from the taxes. However, I did look at this up, and apparently in New York City, the taxes on the actual room were higher than on their resort fees that they were charging. And that in New York City, they actually are getting away with like millions of dollars in resort fees being not taxed. So that's actually kind of messed up that they're saving money in taxes by doing that. I think that's pretty wrong, but that is not the case in Las Vegas. I think the main reason that we're seeing these pop up is that there is much less gambling in Las Vegas than there used to be. It's still the like gambling capital of the US, but people gamble less than they used to. Gambling still makes up 48% of Las Vegas's revenue, but you are seeing a shift towards more of these partying and destination sort of travelers who are there for experiences and not for gambling. And so the casinos have lost revenue in that regard. And I think that may be why we see some of these huge hikes in resort fees, is that they're just trying to make up for some of that loss in gambling. So let's compare to other travel destinations. This is really where it gets interesting, you guys. I wanted to look up some common hotels in Las Vegas, and then I wanted to compare them to some common hotels in other travel destinations. So let's start in Las Vegas. These are gonna be just with the resort fee, but not including taxes. So I wanna let you know that. The Aria. So at the Aria, you have a $127 room rate plus $45 in a resort fee, bringing you to $172. The MGM Grand is gonna be $103 plus the $39 resort fee, which is gonna bring you to $142 per night. At Mandalay Bay, we have $95 for a room rate plus a $39 resort fee, bringing you to $134 per night. Now in New York, in Las Vegas, it's $71 for the room rate and $37 for the resort fee, which brings you to $108 per night. Then we go down a little cheaper here. The Luxor is $63 per night, plus $35 resort fee, that brings you to $98. And Excalibur, $52 for the nightly rate, plus $35 in the resort fee will bring you to $87. Let's compare those now to before the taxes and fees in a couple of major cities. So what I did here is we went on a booking website. I'm gonna look at the top 3 hotels that pop up when I type it in and just get the average of those 3. And again, before taxes and fees. So the average cost of a hotel room in Chicago, Illinois, before taxes and fees was $162. The average room rate in Miami, Florida, before taxes and fees was $186 per night. The average in Anaheim, California, before taxes and fees came to $147 per night. And the average in New York City was $147 per night. Keep in mind, I did make sure that these hotels had a pool and free Wi-Fi. However, except for the Aria Hotel, every single one of these hotels was more expensive than one that you would stay in Las Vegas. And to top it off, their pools, their amenities, none of that is gonna compare, in my opinion, to a hotel in Las Vegas. So I just wanna get that out, that I think that the Las Vegas hotels have more dining options, have more entertainment options, better pools, and they're all still cheaper than these hotels. It gets even more interesting, you guys. Out of all 4 of these major cities, I went ahead and clicked on a couple of the links in Chicago, Miami, and in New York. And every single one of these, one of the hotels charged a sneaky resort fee right at the end there when you went to book.
You cheeky little blighter.
So even though it was listing $162, when you click the link, there's a resort fee that gets added on. So they are even still doing the same thing. So I was actually shocked by that the resort fee actually gets added on to these places as well. I think that resort fees are so ubiquitous with Las Vegas that we just can't even believe it when they're happening in other places. It's kind of like a widespread problem in the United States. What does this all mean? What are my opinions? Okay, let me just state that for the record, as I mentioned, I don't feel that any of those other hotels, which were already more expensive than most of the hotels in Las Vegas, offered anywhere near the amenities. Also note, those hotels didn't offer rate changes. If you go and look at my 10 budgeting tips video, I mentioned that you can change or lower your rate if the rate goes down. You can't do that with these hotels, and there's no refunds, so you can't cancel. And in Las Vegas, you have a 48-hour cancellation window, so you can get your money back. So they don't even offer the same flexibility that they do in Las Vegas. Now, what are my opinion about the actual resort fees themselves? I guess I'm a little neutral on them. Now, I will say, if you are somebody that came from the older generations than mine, where this wasn't something that they used to do, I can totally understand your frustration, particularly if you're a gambler. I think that Vegas used to really, really take care of their gamblers, and it was a place for gamblers to go. And now I can see why a lot of them feel like they're just not being treated the same, because there's all these extra fees that are coming out. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that my generation and other generations in my age group aren't gambling as much. I do think that those who are in a higher tier of gambling that have those like gold card, noir card, those people I do think should get comped their resort fees, because they're gambling. That's why I think these resort fees are here, is because people aren't gambling. And I know that Caesars Entertainment, when we reached out to them, said that if you are one of their higher tier members, you do not have to pay your resort fees. So that's something to keep in mind. I pay my resort fees when I go. Now, if you watched my How I Get a Free Room video, I mentioned that my rooms are always comped. They comp me everything except for taxes and resort fees. I usually just don't ask them to comp my resort fee, because it's really about $125 if I stay for like 3 nights. And I already feel like I'm getting a really good deal on my room, and I'm not a super heavy gambler, so I feel okay paying that rate. But all that aside, you're thinking, Ruby, I don't care. I still think it's dishonest. I don't want to pay that. I don't care that it's still cheaper. I think resort fees stink, and that's totally okay. I get it. You are the majority. Most people really don't like resort fees, and it's something that a lot of people are trying to get these hotels to change. So what can you do? Well, generally your wallet speaks. Now, at TI, you can opt out of the resort fees, and so in doing so, you're opting out of Wi-Fi and other amenities. Some hotels like the Sahara on the Strip are not charging resort fees right now, and there are other hotels that don't charge resort fees in Las Vegas. That being said, I still recommend you stay on Strip. So Sahara would be a great option for you, and TI would be a great option for you. You can always ask, and I have watched other channels where they gamble and they go to the concierge desk and they say, I would like my resort fees comped. And they have done it for people. So don't be afraid to ask in Las Vegas and see what they'll do for you. I hope that this was just sort of an interesting topic for you guys. I hope that it kind of gave a more well-rounded idea about resort fees, what they are, and why they're there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Does the fact that the hotels in Las Vegas are cheaper despite the resort fees make a difference to you? Or do you still feel like, I don't care, I think the resort fees are sneaky and I want them gone? Let me know what you think. If you guys enjoyed the video or you thought it was informative, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this sort of video. I do all kinds of different Vegas videos on my channel, and I'm happy to see you here. I hope to see you again in the next video. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please feel free to follow me on there, and I will be happy to get any DMs from you guys. I'm getting a lot of cool messages from you guys asking me questions. I'm happy to help you any way I can, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye.